Welcome. This video is over how to graph an ordered pair on the coordinate plane, or graph a point, or even read an ordered pair. So mystery number. I am a fraction less than 1. In simplest form, I have a denominator of 5. I am greater than 1/3, but less than 1/2. What am I? Our mystery number. Dun, 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 dun. So I am a fraction less than 1. So we know it is a proper fraction. That means the numerator is less than the denominator. In simplest form, I have a denominator of 5. I'm greater than 1/3, but less than 1/2. 1/3. Well, I know 1/2 is 5/10, or 50/100. That's the decimal equivalency. 1/3. Can I use the place value of 10 or 100? No, because 3 does not go into 100 easily. So we're going to divide this. Can 3 go in 1? 0 times, because 1/3 is like saying 1 divided into 3 parts. Can 3 go in 1? No. Remainder 1. I annex a 0. Bring it out. How many 3's go in 10? 3 times. That's 9. 10 minus 9 is 1. I annex another 0. Can 3 go in 10? 3 times. So it seems like it's repeating, and it is. 1/3 is 3300 with a repeating bar. So I have to be greater than 3300, but less than 50/100ths. Well, 1/5 or 2/5. I know it can't be 3/5 because 3/5 is more than half. I'm going to try 2/5. If I use a place value of 10 and build this, times 2 is 4/10. Is 4/10 or 40/100 between 3300 and 50/100? It is. Or I could say our fraction is 4/10 and it's simplified to 2/5. And that is my answer, 4/10. There are different ways to have strategies on how to get that. You could use pictorial model, use least common denominator. It's your choice. So I'd like you to, with your dry erase marker on your table, I would like you to draw this number line that ranges from -5 to 5. Then I'm going to uncover, and you're going to find these somewhere in your first one, 7/4. Where would you put 7/4? Do I want to turn this into a mixed number? Because it is improper fraction. Or do I want to turn it to a decimal? I want to turn it to a mixed number. Can 4 go in 7? Yes, 1 time. What do you have left over? 3. 1 and 3/4. You might say, what did you just do? I divided in my head. I have 7. I'm dividing into 4 parts. Can 4 go in 7? 1 time. I have 3 left over. 1 and 3/4. So between what two whole numbers would you find 1 and 3/4? Well, it's greater than 1. I believe it's less than 2, so it goes right here, 7/4. Or 1 and 3/4. Do you know the decimal equivalency of it? 1 and 7,500, because 4, using a place value of 100 times 25, 1 and 7,500. Think of 3/4 out of 4. Next one, 5/2. Do you want to turn this to a decimal or turn this improper fraction to a mixed number? I'm going to turn this into a mixed number. So 5 divided by 2. Can 2 go in 5? Twice. We have the 1 left over, so it'll be 2 and 1/2. And that's right here in the center of 2 and 3. 2 and 1/2, or 5/2, or 2 and 5/10. Next, uncover. Give me a rational number less than -4. Well, -4 is right here. It has to be lesser. What do you remember about a number line? A number line goes from least to greatest. So if I need a number less than -4, I'll try, what about negative 4.5. Well, I want negative 5, negative 6. Negative 4 1/100. Decimal. Next one, uncover integer less than negative 1. So here's negative 1. Give me an integer less than negative 1. I'll say negative 2. Next one, uncover absolute value in negative 3. Ooh, do you remember? Here's negative 3. Absolute value is the distance from 0 to negative 3. How many units away is 0 from to negative 3? Let's count. 1 unit, 2 unit, 3. So absolute value of negative 3 is 3. And so it's right here. Absolute value of negative 3. And our last one, where would you find negative 10 third? Again, let's use mixed numbers. Can you turn this improper fraction into a mixed number? I'm not going to do this in my head. I'll just divide it here. How many groups of 3 go into 10? 3 times. We have 1 left over. So it's negative 3 1/3. Here's negative 3. It's lesser than negative 3. So it would go right here. Negative 3 1/3, negative 10 third. Do you remember what 1/3 is as? So in my previous slide, negative 3 3300 without repeating. All right, so using that, you should be able to answer these a little more faster. Label the axis and quadrant. X-axis, y-axis, big C. So this must be quadrant 1, quadrant 2 to make a C. 1, 2, 3, and this is quadrant 4. Graph point A, 5/2, comma, negative 2. What's another way to say 5/2? We just did it in our previous one. It's 2.5, comma, negative 2. So we always start at the origin. 2.5. Is that right of 0 or left of 0? Right. So it's right here between 2 and 3 because it's halfway point. Then negative 2 is right here. So let's label this point A. To graph point B, starting at point A, move 2 5/10 or 2.5 units to the left. So here's a half, 1 unit, 2 unit, and 1 unit north right here. What is the order pair? All right, let's draw arrow and draw arrow. So the x-axis is 0, while the y-axis, whoops, I erased it by x, is negative 1. So what is the order pair for point B? Let's label that B, 0, comma, negative 1. Label the axis and quadrant. X, Y, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Graph this. Graph point C. How many groups of 3 go in 5? It goes in 1 time. That's what do you have left over? 2. Negative 1 2/3, 1. So starting at 0, the origin again, we go to negative 1 2/3. This is divided into thirds, so it'll be the second one right here. And then 1. That's above 0, so right here is point C. To graph point D, starting at point C, move 1 unit to the north. Let me use a different pen color. 1 unit to the north is right here. What is the order paired? It would be negative 1 2/3, comma, 2. What quadrant is it in? Quadrant 2. And our last example is, this is a rectangle. As you can see, the vertices or the corners of this rectangle is shown below. Can you name each vertex? Let's start with this one. Here's 0, here's 1. Does this look like the halfway point of 0, 1? So that's 1/2, comma, and the y, so x-axis, y-axis. So the x-axis is 1/2. The y-axis, this is divided into fourths. So it's 1/4. But is it above 0 or below 0? Below, so it's negative. So it's 1/2, comma, negative 1/4. let's label this one. Let's find the coordinates of this ordered pair. So it's halfway of 0, 1. So right here. So it's halfway. And this one is, this is divided into fourths again. So this is 1 and divided 4. This is the first fourth, 1 and 1/4. What about this one right here? This one right here. This exactly, so arrow, arrow. This is -1. The y-axis we just did earlier is 1 and 1/4. And the last one, the x-axis is -1. The y-axis we did earlier, this is divided into fourths, but it's below 0, so -1/4. -1, -1/4. So what we just talked about is how to graph points. So what you have to know, in an ordered pair, you have x, comma, y. Look at the x-axis, and then look at the y-axis.